Welcome, and thanks for visiting the American Atheist website. I'm Ellen Johnson, president of American Atheists. In Texas, David Wallace Croft has been challenging violations of the First Amendment Establishment Clause in his local school district. He protested the inclusion of the words "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance. He objected to the distribution of flyers by his local public school, which promoted meetings of a Christian Bible club, and he has spoken out against Christmas plays and concerts put on by the local school, which, he points out, aggressively proselytize the Christian religion. Now he is challenging the Texas state law mandating a moment of silence, and it has reached the federal district court level. Well, last week I was a guest on CNN Headline News' program, The Glenn Beck Show, to talk about this important issue. Beginning in the early 1960s, a flurry of legal suits challenged the practice of allowing organized prayers and mandatory Bible reading as part of the public school's daily curriculum. In New York, the state actually tried to invent a prayer that would somehow not violate the First Amendment's Establishment Clause, and it was declared unconstitutional. The founder of American Atheists, Madeleine O'Hair, challenged both organized prayers and Bible verse recitation in the public schools, and that historic suit, Murray v. Curlett, decided by the Supreme Court in 1963, helped to end this unconstitutional practice. Supporters of organized school prayers, though, have been working overtime to devise schemes that would circumvent these rulings and sneak organized prayers back into our public school classrooms. One of these schemes is to have the public schools begin the day with a moment of silence. Students are supposed to be able to do whatever they want during that moment, including pray. Well, you ask, what's wrong with a moment of silence? Well, it isn't about silence. The Supreme Court struck down a moment of silence statute enacted by Alabama in 1985, noting that the lawmakers had a religious purpose in drafting the legislation. Well, big surprise. The author of the Texas law showed his religious intent when he told the Morning News, quote, "There has been like a burr under the saddle of a lot of Texans since the Supreme Court said you couldn't pray audibly in schools." Of course, students can pray audibly if they want. They just can't disrupt the regular school sessions, and the school administration can't lead the students in doing it. The intent behind a moment of silence has always been to get students to pray, to see and hear other students pray, and to have everyone else stop what they're doing while they pray. You will see them and you will hear them pray. And if you don't pray, then they will see that, and those students who don't pray often get set up for proselytization and harassment. And just because it doesn't happen in your school doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Religious students, at the urging of their parents and local churches, are pushing the boundaries of acceptable religious activities in the schools. They often cross those boundaries of acceptable behavior because we hear about it all the time. Call them prayer bullies, warriors, or whatever. It often leads to harassment. The Christian Coalition once opposed anti-bullying legislation because they knew that it would prevent them from the kind of proselytization that they do in the schools, which is often harassing. Just as we have laws against sexual harassment, so too do we need laws against religious harassment. It really has come to that. And while we're at it, I suggest that students take care of their personal needs and dependencies before they go to school. Eat your breakfast, brush your teeth, and conjure the spirit world before you get to school. Don't ask everyone else in school to stop what they're doing so you can attempt to communicate with your particular deity. Our public schools are under siege by the religious who need to go after a captive audience and a new generation of customers, and they want your kids. So, Mr. Croft, I salute you. Win or lose, these challenges won't stop, because Mr. Croft and many, many other parents and students are sick and tired of having to do battle with the religious in the schools, when they go to work, in the military, and in the prisons. When you push a person too far, they start to push back. Now you know. If you agree with American Atheists, please join us today. We atheists need to stand together. Thank you for watching. I'm Ellen Johnson.